Hey y'all, and welcome to a new episode of Christine Reviews. Today we're going to be working on a product that I was pretty excited about, and it is called Clearly Filtered. I got this one on Amazon for about $75, $80. I forget exactly. I've had it a few days and gave it a good test run. Gonna give it a test run with some red food color water that I hadn't done yet. I wanted to go ahead and do that and experience it with you guys. I just emptied out the rest of the water that I had in here so that I could take this apart and show you guys what's up. Now, when it came shipped, the filter and this thing were in the bottom reservoir, just kind of wrapped up together, and you had to take it apart. So this thing's pretty tight, this little lid here, and it comes out like this. And then in order to get down to the bottom, the first time that I had tried to get the thing out, that was pretty hard, and I was worried that I was gonna break it, because you don't want to like pull it from here, because you could almost like hear or feel that it'll disconnect. So you just got to kind of pull it upward like this, and then it comes out. And the filter screws on and off here. I'm probably going to get my shirt all wet like this. And it's pretty cute. It's got a little teardrop on the bottom where the water comes out. And then you're given this thing here, and you screw it. First you want to go ahead and fill the bottom basin, the bottom part, with water all the way up to like right here. And then you want to stick this in it and put the lid thing back on and the top reservoir. And you want to let it soak for at least 30 minutes. Why? Because the filter's dry, and if you run it dry, like they said you could run it dry, but if you run it dry, then it's going to take a really long time for water to drip out of here. So the longer you soak it, the better. You could do it for 24 hours. I did it for about an hour and 15 minutes. But after you're done soaking it, you go ahead and take it out, empty the reservoir, and then screw this little guy on. And then this thing here fits on your sink. They suggest using your bathroom sink because for some reason the kitchen sinks in general are not very compatible. I used my kitchen sink. I live in a trailer though, so I don't know if my sink's a little different. And I mean, it did okay. It did okay. It still came out of here, and they said that that was normal, that there would be overflow, and you're supposed to turn it on like medium pressure, and even with medium pressure, I still had a little fountain that shot out here and there. So it took a little trial and error. But you want to just rinse it out for like a minute, and then that should get rid of any sediment that was inside the filter. Now, I on my first go thought that if I ran it for 2 minutes, it would be great, and then there would be no more sediment inside of it. And the first time I had emptied and got to the bottom of the barrel here, inside my white teacup, there was a little bit of charcoal. And that, I mean, that's okay, it's charcoal. And it wasn't really enough that it was really noticeable. It's just I was really looking for it. And it's not going to hurt you or anything. And then after a couple of uses, you know, you don't have to worry about that ever happening again. So you want to make sure that this thing's on nice and tight. Why? Because once you put water in here, you don't want it leaking out the sides and contaminating your already clean water. Now, I was really excited about this one in particular because our water, I live in Moscow, Texas, is nasty. Like, we've contacted the water company and stuff before, and they said that like everything's fine, everything's as it should be, but it comes out brown. We have to run the pressure release by the street and let it run all the time because people all over town are having this brown water problem. I don't know if it's just because we're such a small population that they're not too worried about it. I mean, I think Moscow, Texas, the last time it was updated was a whole whopping 170 people. So yeah, and there's like when we fill up our kiddie pool, you could see iron and rust and stuff all on the bottom, just kind of sitting sedimentary on the bottom there. And I have to get like a siphon and get it out the bottom because there's a lot of it. It's pretty gross. And then I've had hoses bust from my trailer because and we have those RV filters, the little blue ones. We've got 3 of them up on there, and my husband had run charcoal through the hose, the actual hose, and there's still like so much calcium buildup, and in just a year's time, we've had it build up and expand our hose and bust it. And then recently I noticed that the water that we were getting, if poured into a white container, is actually blue. Not like the ocean blue, but blue blue, as in they put some color in there for who knows what reason. That's probably not good for you. So I wanted to make sure that I got something that was extra filtery for the questionable water we have here. Now, it has 2 air holes. One, I don't know if you can see it with my light there. One here and one on the reverse side. And that's just to help the flow, the water speed flow. And it does work pretty well. This is a half-gallon reservoir, and it takes about 13 minutes for it to go through the first time. Again, that varies on what type of water you're dealing with. This thing is not made for like dumping into a river or dumping into a lake and then filtering out whatever water and contaminants are in that. This is made for further cleaning out already clean water, as in tap water or well water. So again, I thought it would be perfect for our situation. It's also one of the highest rated pitchers because of the amount of things that it takes out. It comes with this little packet here with the cute little clearly filtered water drop pin. With setup instructions, the lifetime warranty, and their company commitment, plus all these things that it takes out here. I'll take this out so you can see it. Move that out of the way. Actually, while we're going ahead and waiting for that and talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and fill up this reservoir with water. So here I got a mason jar. It's a half-gallon. And I don't have any red dye right now because I used it making sparkly water, fairy water for Lily's pool. But I do have pink, and it's gel dye, so I'm going to have to stir it up a bit. That stuff's pretty strong. Now, this is not going to hurt the filter any, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm not worried about it, but I do want you guys to see how pretty amazing it is on making sure that it runs clear water. If I can just break up this little this little gel dye chunk here. While we're talking, we'll let that do that and we'll run a taste test, okay? My chopsticks. I eat mostly with chopsticks. Okay, so try not to spill everything everywhere. Gonna go ahead and set that here. And then pour this in here. Now this is about 1/4 of a gallon. Just a little bit more. You can see already filtering. Can you see how fast? Can you see how fast that's dripping? There you go. It's pretty quick. Now, quick doesn't always mean good when it comes to a water filter, because it has to go through, the more time it spends going through the filter, the more likely it is going to be drawing out any of those impurities. But this has a pretty interesting setup, and it does a pretty good job at filtering. So you put the lid back on here and it snaps on. You don't have to worry about when you're filtering water. If you're thirsty and you need water now, you can go ahead and use it. It's not going to spill, and it's not going to mix the water from this chamber into this chamber, which is one of the only pitchers that does that right now. One thing that does suck about this pitcher in particular is this flap thing. This here is supposed to open when you pour your water into your cup, and it doesn't most of the time, and it'll stay closed, and then water will shoot out from the sides. So I always flip it up and then flip it back down. I would remove it, but I don't want it sitting and collecting dust and contaminating my water further, so I just leave that on. It's like a lid that I have to remove every time I want to use my water pitcher. So there's that. We're going to let that sit right here while we talk about this. So this thing is pretty extensive, and it has, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it has all these things that they've tested and their results for what it removes in the water. So performance data for the clearly filtered water pitcher and filter. Oh, the filters you can buy. This one comes with one filter, but you can buy them individually for like $50 a piece. And they even have like 3-packs that you can purchase as well. They get pretty expensive, but when you look at them in comparison to, say, Brita or something, they average about the same. I mean, I can complain about a couple bucks. Brita typically filters like a 1/4 of the water that the Clearly filter does. This one does 100. This one filter will filter 104 gallons, I believe is what it said. I believe. Oops. There went my paper clip. Somewhere. I don't know. I'll add it in the comments there below. Oh, every 100 gallons. Yes, so it was 104 gallons. Okay, so contaminant reduction results. And this is, who's the tester? Must be a private tester. Okay, so it removes fluoride, and that moves 3 different types of fluoride. Now, I don't know if you all know, but they put fluoride in our tap water, they put fluoride in our toothpaste, they put fluoride in all kinds of stuff, including the baby water. And fluoride is actually poisonous. It's poisonous. They say it's like good for your teeth and stuff, but we get enough fluoride from the tap water and things that we consume with the water that we don't need to go adding fluoride to our stuff. And then fluorinated chemicals takes out 3 other fluorinated chemicals here. And heavy metals like mercury and arsenic. And then we got herbicides. And we have chemical disinfectants. Can you see that? Like chlorine. And yeah, I could really taste the difference in that. Microplastics, prescription drug, and chemicals. Most all water filters do not take care of that or hold any claims for that. So, I mean, it gets rid of the caffeine, the remnants, because a lot of our water is recycled. And what we consume gets put back into the earth, and it doesn't always get filtered out. And a lot of the stuff like prescription drugs or like they get flushed or put into the drain pipes or on the street, and they get mixed in with our water, and we're exposed to that whether we know it or not. And this filter takes out a lot of those. Radiological elements there. Okay. Volatile organic compounds and semi-volatile organic compounds. So that's this one. Let's see, all the way down to the bottom. Here's the semi. And then pesticides. And we got pesticides, continuous, and bacteria, cysts, and microorganisms. This is also the only water filter pitcher system available right now that claims that it removes cysts. There we go. Isn't that nice? Look, no poopy water. Now, lifetime warranty, a clear commitment. Says, welcome to the family. Thank you. You are joining a community over 100,000 like-minded customers who have made the switch to Clearly Filtered. We want to say thank you for caring enough about what's in your water to do something about it. Buying one of our filters says a lot about your commitment to the contaminant-free drinking water. We are glad to have you as a customer. We use these products ourselves every day. Our hope is that you find them as valuable as we do. And if you ever need any help or any questions from us, we're just an email or a phone call away. And here's their information right there. So the warranty applies to the standard use of the product and does not cover the filter. Faulty or broken products will be replaced. Normal wear and tear is not grounds for replacement. All products must be sent to Clearly Filtered. So what's normal wear and tear? This stupid flap. All right, so as far as ease and comfort, this is a pretty nice thick size handle here. You can see that in comparison to my vaporizer. It's pretty wide, which is nice because of the carpal tunnel. It helps me feel like I'm not dying when I have to pick it up and hold it. And it is a little heavy. It's not as heavy as a lot of other water pitchers are. It's kind of funny where placement is, though. I think it feels better if I'm holding it not so much at the bottom, but closer to the bottom, and it feels a little bit more even. And it does take a little bit of an oomph. If you can see my my hand kind of shaking, just holding it up there so that I could pour. Let me finish this water and I'll fill it up with this new stuff. All right, so that's pretty clear. Red water, clear water. Over here I have my empty cup, and then I've got the tap water from my sink. It's very heavily chlorinated. Very. I can kind of see stuff floating around. I can't show you, but it's yucky. And I've got it to compare. Taste. That's disgusting. Okay, so it tastes like straight plastic and chlorine. Like a lot like plastic and chlorine. Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. I don't see how people can drink this. It's heavy and it leaves a film kind of feeling on your tongue. Not about it. Not about it. All right, so we're going to pour this into a cup here. Pour this into my cup here. And I don't know if you can see. No red liquid coming out. No mixing of the chamber. There we go. Still no red liquid in there because it just doesn't mix. All right, so drastically different. All right, so with Brita, if you've ever tried one, they load those filters with minerals, which is not a bad thing. It's not, but they could use that filter in that space a lot more efficiently to rid the water of whatever contaminants that are left inside of it, like this one does. And it does. Brita filter water tastes good. I very much enjoy the taste because of the added minerals inside of the water. This one tastes like blank. It tastes like blank. It's just raw water. There's nothing special tasting about it except for that it is clean. It tastes clean. Definitely in comparison to this stinks. It stinks. I don't smell anything. That's bad. Plastic. Oh, I got red food color on my table. That's so much better. It doesn't feel heavy, and I don't feel that. Well, I still feel a little bit of the residual film, but normally, like I said, I've been using this for days, have not had that at all. I love this picture, and I'd love to see the actual life expectancy, how long and how well it suits. As far as size go, it's pretty narrow, and I can't say that it's any bigger or taller than say like a half gallon of almond milk or something, so it could fit in the fridge. Not my tiny trailer fridge, but it could fit in a refrigerator with no problem. And they suggest refrigerating your water, not because that it's going to go bad per se, but that if you don't use it quickly enough, being that it is so filtered and it does not have any chlorine, there is a chance that if it's exposed to light, algae is going to grow. It's going to grow. And that's just something that happens naturally. It's not like that there's something in it that makes algae grow, like it's infected with algae spores or anything. It's just natural. That's how life does. That's how the earth does. algae. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie. I'm very happy with my purchase. Um, I want to point out that Clearly Filtered is not sponsoring this video in any way, shape, or form. That I had purchased this with my own money on Amazon, and would do it 1,000 times over if I knew that I was getting clean water like this for my family, for me to cook with. And I didn't have to put up with that nasty Moscow water. Alright, if you guys have tried it, go ahead and let me know. Tell me some of the other filter and pitcher brands you've tried. And then in the description, I'll go ahead and drop a link, a quick link to the Clearly Filtered water system. And can't wait to see you guys for our next review. Bye.